Everybody, what is up?
Hi everyone.
Hope everybody's having a great and fabulous day with a joyful heart, joyful spirit that you are alive and well because we are here to spread the love and hope, help others prosper every day. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Not your marriage gurus, but just here to share things that we're learning, tips that we're getting from the gurus, and just sharing it with you guys. And just excited to finish this little mini series off, part three. Also on day I think 11 or so on the 14-day challenge. Hey, First Lady. So we are yeah, finishing off this challenge here of coming live 14 days straight for you guys. And yeah, we are, like I said, going to finish this off today. Hopefully it's not going to be too long. We'll see where it takes us, where it goes. But if you haven't seen the other two parts, go watch part one, part two of this series, which is, do you want a happy marriage? Then you may want to divorce this person. And so this video is based around the 5 voices in your head you may want to divorce. And um, so yeah, so LC, what is number one? Oh, so sorry. This is dropping stuff. This is coming out of the book Get Married, Stay Married by Paul and Billy K. Sika. Well, the quote is where we got the series in mind from, which is, if you want to read it.
The quote reads, "You can never be happily married to another until you get divorced from yourself. Successful marriage demands a certain death to self."
So it demands a certain death to self. So if you want a successful marriage, if you want to be happily married, then you got to divorce yourself. You got to divorce your thoughts, your minds, your selfish ways. Because if you don't, you're not going to be happy. You're going to be grumpy. You're going to do things that aren't, like God. You're just going to always think about me, myself, and I. We talked about this in part one, part two. So I'm not going to go too much over it, but go watch those videos if you want to learn about it. But it's not about, maybe you're at a season, maybe you're at a point where, hey, I want to divorce that other person. But maybe focus on divorcing yourself for this next year. To focus on divorcing yourself and then make that decision whether or not you want to divorce them. But I bet you, if you find out, if you decide to divorce yourself first, get those selfish things out of the way, you're gonna find out that you want to be together. Hey, Jalissa. And so, starting with number one. So these 5 voices are basically 5 ways to deny that little voice in your head when you become selfish. Because we all are selfish. We talked about it. I'm guilty. Elsie's guilty. We're all guilty of doing it. It's just rating ourselves and saying, how can we move forward? How can we grow? And so the first little voice in your head that you got to divorce is what?
But I want my way right now.
Guys, have done that?
You can go.
All right. So I want my way right now. What I want it. Wait. What is it? I want it now. The Willy Wonka, where she wants everything now. She wants to have it her way. And what happened in the end? She ended up just getting thrown off the. I forgot. I think she went down the tube, but she always wanted it her way. And and parents, if you're a parent, kids, they want it their way. And so it's kind of like an immature thought, which we all have those thoughts, like I said. So don't feel guilty, but we want it done now. We want it done our way. And if it's not done our way and done now, then we're going to have attitude. We're going to get upset. We're going to be angry, and we're going to have bitterness. And so if you don't divorce yourself from that, you're going to end up wanting to divorce, because you can't divorce from everything has to be your way, my way, has to be done now. If not, then everybody's going to pay. And so when you decide to divorce yourself from that, turn out that little voice in your head and say, hey, I may want it done now, but maybe there's a more effective way. Maybe we can wait a little bit. It doesn't have to be my way. And yeah.
So this one, I want it my way right now. So I talked about this. If I ask Adam to do something and he doesn't do it, then it's just gonna be my way. So when you do ask somebody that ask them to do something, it may not be what you want right now. But that's where your selfishness come from, is where, why can't you do it when I want to do it? Why can't you do it now? Blah, 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 So So when I do ask him, I have to make sure I don't get upset if he doesn't do it right away. So that's where I'm, dying to myself, like, that this is what he'll do, and I'm not gonna worry about it.
All right. So number two. What's number two?
Number 2 is I don't want to wait, so I will hide it from my spouse.
Ooh, okay. So this is a good one. So a little thought in your head where maybe it's something that you don't want to discuss over with him, so you just go ahead and do it anyway. As maybe there's something that you wanted to buy. You give you an example. You want to buy something, and you decide to, the process of you buying something, especially maybe big or that's out of the budget. Like you maybe have a conversation about it typically. But in this case, you're like, you know what? I want to do what I want. I can do what I want. No one's a boss of me, so I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to hide that I did it, and hopefully, they don't find out. And so you're being selfish. You're also being deceitful. So you notice when one thing's come, it opens the door for a whole bunch of other things. It opens the door for arguments. It opens the door to lying. It opens the door to so many things, and that's literally for anything. Once you incorporate something
Little white lies.
once you incorporate something that doesn't that just has no values, that has no goodness, you open the door for everything else to enter in. And so if you divorce yourself from this of, hey, I'm gonna hide it from my spouse, like I'm guilty again, Elsie's guilty, so but how can we get this to move forward and really divorce that voice? You got to turn it off. You good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's number 3?
So number 3 is I don't want to compromise.
Okay, so we shared a little bit about this last night.
Yeah.
About compromising. So realizing that you don't want to compromise, well, if you have that voice in your head, well, I really don't want to compromise. I really don't want to go to this place, or I really don't want to one, you just communicate about it. Say, this is kind of how I feel about it. But if it's just you being selfish because you don't want to do what they want, and you don't want to, maybe it's just a baseball game that I really hate baseball. I mean, maybe you really hate baseball, but they always go to those ballets that you like. Maybe you can compromise a little bit that he has to struggle maybe through a ballet or vice versa, and you can go to the baseball game with him. And so you're just willing to be able to both, be able to come out on top and say, hey, I compromise in this area. And it's not even about being 50-50. It's about how can I just honestly serve them and give to them more than they give back to me. And because in return, you're going to be given much more. But if I could just focus on, hey, I'm not going to even worry about compromise. I'm just going to, go with the flow. I'm going to do what they like, what they want. And I just know in return, if I just keep doing that, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
All right. We got silent pants today. Next one. Thanks. That's too uncomfortable. So in your thoughts, you're saying that's too uncomfortable, so I don't want to do it. So you're being selfish by saying, hey, that's too uncomfortable. I don't want to change. The greatest fear of man or woman is change. They don't want to change. But the only person that you can change is yourself. So if you don't want to step out of that comfort zone of trying to do something new, or maybe you're just focused on you, and I don't want to do it because it's going to affect how I look. It's going to affect me. Even though they're doing it too. They're out there getting uncomfortable. That other person's out there doing things, but you're just stuck in yourself and saying, hey, I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to do anything. But if you stay that way, you talk about it and you're going to stay that way. You're not going to be able to do anything great unless you get out of your comfort zone. And so getting out of your comfort zone, not being selfish, you got to divorce yourself from that. So that way you guys can grow in your marriage. Maybe it's going to counseling, especially a lot of us guys, we don't want to get counseling or talk to anybody. We just want to figure it out on our own, and it may be uncomfortable for you, but that's being selfish. She said she would love to see a counselor. She would love to just talk it out, because I doubt that you're probably listening to everything she has to say. So maybe she needs to have an ear for someone to hear and go with her. So get out of your comfort zone and go with her.
Ditto.
All right. So let me just say, last one to wrap it up. I want. That is the thought that we always have in our head. I want it this way. I want it that way. But unless if it revolves around me, unless it's focused on me, I don't want it. Say, I don't want it. I don't need it. No, it's all about I want it. I gotta have it. And if I don't, then get out of my way. And you got to divorce that thought. That's a bad thought. You know, it should never be about what you want. It should be about how can you serve, what can you give, what can you do to help others out. And
Are you done talking for that part?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm talking.
Okay.
I'm trying to have you jump in.
So, not that I wasn't trying to jump in. I was trying to focus on, because everything on here is the same. It's just different ways of when voices talk to you. So, just different ways of how people think. And I mean, for me, they're all the same. To be honest with you, they're, you know, you want that thing right now. You want it your way. You don't want to wait. You know, you're hiding things from your spouse because you decide to do things that you want to do. You don't want to compromise. You don't want to do what they want to do. You always want to do what you want to do. That's where all it is. It's an I. Relationship is not an I. Relationship is a we. We have to do this together. We have to, you know, make sure that our relationship is as one. But, you know, there's two of you guys trying to work things out, because a lot of times people think that, you know, getting married is easy, and that, you know, it actually starts, the work starts when after your wedding anniversary or your wedding. So you know, all of this is, you know, majority of all we think about is I. And you know, I see a lot of people out there who think about themselves, and sometimes I get that thought, like, you know, this person has good life because they do all the things for themselves. They don't have to go and ask their spouse. I mean, I struggle with this a lot. You know, I see family members, like, they don't have to consult with their husband about things. They can just do whatever, like new emotions. But for me, I have to think about, Adam, is that going to affect him? Is that going to affect our future? You know, not that it's not just more voices, but it's actually, you know, people saying things, or I see things and people are focusing on, yeah, I can buy this, I don't need to ask. That's why when we ask my sister if he can stay over at their place, you know, we say, is it okay for, you know, your husband, is he going to be okay with that? Because it's not her house, it's their house. And if she's, you know, most of the time she said it's okay, which I, you know, nothing against that. I'm just saying that we always say, can you ask your husband first? Can you ask him to make sure that it's okay for us to stay over? So, I mean, Adam will repeat all of this, but I'm just saying, like, this is for mine. I don't know if you guys are struggling with it. Is that where if people, you see people do things because they're family members and they say it's okay, you don't need to consult with your husband, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that. But there's so many things that go along with it. You have to focus on, you know, like I said, you got to know that, is it okay for your husband? Is it okay for your kids? Is it okay for your family? You know, you're not thinking about yourself anymore. You're thinking about yourself when you're single. So you got to make sure you focus on, not just, is it going to affect myself, but is it going to affect the people around me? And that's where you know, you have to die. You have to die your selfishness. You have to die to self, is because there's just one decision can, you know, either break or make you. So you got to make sure and it's, don't make decision out of feelings. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's good stuff. Very good stuff. And you literally, like you said, we have to be a we. It's not no longer I. And you should be using this regardless of in your relationship or not. You know, think about the things that you're saying. Who's around you? Is it what you say is gonna literally affect someone's life? We can speak life into death over people, and there's words that we speak that people may just hear, and we didn't know that what we said caused them to go into depression and go. I mean, now we can't control what they feel and all that stuff, but if you could just be cautious about those things, we can all kind of live a little better life and help each other out. Like I said, help others prosper every day. So we're careful. We really try to be careful what we say on here. Things that we do is because we want to represent what a great marriage should look like, but not that we have necessarily the greatest marriage, but we can at least learn from people who have great marriage and represent it, and try to bring that to you guys and share that, hey, we're not perfect, but we are here to just help each other grow and get through things. And so a lot of this is just kind of like immature thinking that we got to grow up and get out of the, you know, myself, me, myself, and I. We got to grow up and get out of that. And you know, just be willing to serve. Think about the other person. Think about their wants and their needs. What else did I write? Remember? Oh, and just remember, you can't change anybody except yourself. So If maybe they're not working on this, still work on yourself. You just focus on divorcing yourself for a good year.
And they'll see it. They'll see the difference. I mean, just for Adam and I, you know, I can't. He would say, or I see, he would work on himself, and you know, I would see the changes, and that makes me realize, you know, I gotta change for myself. I mean, you know, we don't, like I said, we don't do this because we've actually like gone through it or going through it right now. I mean, you may not notice, but I'm more quiet today than I am normally. But I mean, for me, I focus on everything. Adam, you know, puts everything together. And once I get all my collective information, I would, you know, say it. But yeah.
The change I wanna see must first begin in me. You gotta surrender. I surrender all.
This is
So
all
your
gospel
world
songs.
might be changed. That's the truth, but you just take that and apply that to your life. The change that you want to see must first begin in you. You got to work on changing yourself. Don't worry about them. Worry about yourself and growing. Not in that sense. Worry about you just growing yourself. But in everything else, you want to worry about them. Think about their needs and wants. And that's what this has come from. And we just want you guys to grow and change and do better and be better as we are growing and doing better and being better. But we are about to take off. This is, again, like I said, part 3, part video. So if you've seen part 1, part 2, you know in part 3, if you reach out to us, message Elsie, go on Facebook, message her, whatever, message me on Facebook, go to our profile, message us. You'll get 9 ways how to overcome selfishness in marriage. Basically, 9 ways to divorce yourself in marriage. We've already given you tons of tips. So we've given you over 15 plus, 20 plus tips already, but this is going to be 9 more that you can take. You got the first 3 from the first video, second 3 from the second video, and we're going to send you these final 3 of 9 ways how to overcome selfishness in marriage. And
I do want to add, like I said in the last video, you must apply it. You can't say it does not work if you are not putting in the work.
We'll send you, those are bars right there, bars. We'll literally send you it, and yeah, you apply it. We'll walk through it with you if you have questions or anything on it. But anyways, we will talk to you guys later.
We have a date night, so we're gonna head out.
That was series. We're ending that series, but we got some more great stuff coming your way. Yeah, we love you.
Love you guys.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye. Good
Peace.
night.